Chuggalos, welcome back to your weekly affirmation that it's okay to be in love with craft beer. As you can tell, I'm doing this episode solo. JT is preparing himself for a very important work presentation. I feel like we're not going to pull the wool over the sheep's clothes and we're just going to call it like it is. He's doing important work stuff, so he goes, Matt, if you can't do it this day, you're going to have to carry the load yourself. And I go, JT, I got you. Especially after that marathon episode that you and Stev put in last week, nearly 2 hours of shenanigans, hijinks, and chicanery. So off the top, I'd be remiss if I didn't say, just take a moment, maybe pause the podcast wherever you listen to it, YouTube or elsewhere, and shoot a text message out to that close friend maybe you haven't talked to in a while, and just see if everything's all right. Today, I was supposed to be joined by a friend, and they called me, and they're like, you know what? I've got some other stuff going on in my life, Matt, that I need to address. And I go, that's not a problem. And then we took a couple of minutes to make sure that they were okay. And it's important that we do that for everyone in our life. But if it's just one person that you reach out to today, that's all it's going to take to, check that box and to make sure that, your friends and your family are doing really well. So that's what I got to say about that. Last week was the 4th of July, 249th annual 4th of July. Yeah, that works. 249th birthday for the United States. Wow, can't believe next year will be 250. That's going to be monumental. I'm sure there's already things being planned across the country for that. So we'll have to just wait and see what's on tap for that. But I was back in Wisconsin for the lion's share of the time. And there's one thing I want to talk about before I get into two tasty, or at least I'm hoping they're tasty, Wisconsin beverages from two new breweries that I've never had before. So just really forging new ground on this episode is Bloody Marys. Bloody Marys are something I'm passionate about. I know there's other Chuggalos that are passionate about it too. You can't get a good Bloody Mary in Ohio. At least I haven't found it yet. There's too many people that are mixing it with olive juice and putting other stuff that doesn't belong in a Bloody Mary. And believe me, in Wisconsin, we put everything, pickles, cheese, beef sticks. I had one with bourbon glazed, bacon wrapped chicken. There's bacon wrapped crack, not the drug, cheese crack, other things. So there's a multitude of different things that are acceptable, to go in a Bloody Mary. But the reason I bring it up, Beer Podcast, is what's your preferred Bloody Mary chaser? You can leave the comment below. I'm just giving you a little bit of time, just dancing around it, because my wife has her preferred. Her preferred is a Spotted Cow. So in Wisconsin, you get a Bloody Mary chaser. So you get your Bloody Mary, whatever, denomination or whatever, from a pint glass up to a gallon jug Bloody Mary. I like, something a little bit more robust, like High Life or a PBR, something to set it off a little bit, because you have kind of like the savoriness of the Bloody Mary. I want something else to kind of like set it off and pair against. But comment below, or if you haven't heard of Bloody Mary chasers before, because there's a lot of people where that's foreign to them, or you don't get offered one. But anyways, lots to talk about today. I'm going to interlude it, and we're going to do website reviews. I've already got them up on my other screen here. I've just brought them up. I haven't explored a little bit, so we're going to explore that together. But my first beer, there's going to be no way to do this, or besides the way I think I'm doing it. I'm going to do the sour first, and then I'm going to do the West Coast or American IPA second. So my first beer is from North Pillar out of Waukesha, Wisconsin. Time to Sangria Sour Ale, and that's a 6%, so it's a little bit bigger of a sour. I'm going to go with a crack. I'm going to crack it away from expensive electronics. Remember a couple episodes ago when JT just went and cracked his beer? I remember. Where there's originals, remembers? All right. First impressions. Muted. Very muted. I guess I get a little bit of the Sangria, blood orange. Absolutely big and devastating pull. How are you guys holding up with the heat, by the way? Oh, it's just been, sorry, Stacy, it's just been incredible. 100 degree days around here in the upper Midwest. That is a lot of sangria in that one. Interesting, though. I bought this at Discount Liquor, and as a third segment, after our 2 beers, we're going to go to Discount Liquor website. I'm going to say an addendum, though, to their website. I got antivirus notifications from going to their website, so they must have some malicious cookies. So I'm going to it, but I'm going to ask you guys, don't go to it, because you're going to get some stuff that come up all the time. So let's check out North Pillar's website. We're going to turn off my ugly mug, and we're going to bring up the website. So North Pillar, as I said, out of Waukesha. And you can find out more at northpillarbrewing.com. This is your splash page. And again, it's nice when they have, some movement on their screen, some historic setting just outside of the Spaghetti Junction that is downtown Waukesha. Those that know will know. Sorry, Stacy. Our story. Oh, it's all one page. That was kind of neat. Nestled in historic downtown Waukesha, it's more than just a brewery. It's a gathering place. History, community, and craft beer converge. I didn't get the opportunity. I spent some time just on the outskirts of Waukesha. I didn't get the opportunity to go down here. But let's see if next time I go up, maybe I'll hit it. Originally constructed in 1870, the space once housed the Weber Brewery, producing over 2,200 barrels, annually by 1882, a long time ago. After time as a dairy during Prohibition, that's an interesting that the dairy was that. I'd have to talk to my family from Waukesha and see if they knew about this. All of our beers are brewed on site, reflecting our passion. From hop forward IPAs to rich stouts, there's something for every taste. I'll be darned. And again, we'll use the map to scroll. Look at that, downtown. Oh, that's Discount where you can buy it. I know. We'll go into that later. But the brewery is right off of the main drag. At least I thought, downtown. Anyways, that's that. So we got to learn a little bit about North Pillar. All right, this beer, extremely refreshing, tart, zesty, got that sangria snap to it. It's not smooth, but it's not in an unappealing way. Like, everything that's here is calculated and should be here. Again, it's just super tart and just pops in your mouth. I'm already halfway done with the cans, just after a couple of pulls. We'll do a little bit of a can twirl. Look at that. Sangria, so the berry and the orange. I like the back of the can when it's all simple like this. This is my preferred. Like, use all the rest of it, but like leave 20% of the can, or, bad at measurements. North Street, yep, Waukesha. Awesome. Waukesha, home to Les Paul. Oh, if I screw that up, I'm gonna get corrected. We'll say that. It's a really good beer. I want to ruminate on that one for a second. So one of my favorite things to do, beer related, is to turn people on to beer. When I was at Discount Liquor, I happened to find my favorite beer out in the wild. Dogfish Head 120 minute. It was aptly priced at $10 a bottle. That's fine. $9 to $10 a bottle. You're going to be nowhere offensive. It was last year's brew, so 2024. And I bought everything that they had available, as I normally tend to do with 120 minute. And I asked, hey, is this okay? And they're like, yep, it's been sitting there. Sorry, Stacy. It's been sitting there a while at Discount Liquor, which again, we'll go into a little bit later. And we were staying at my in-laws, and my in-laws' best friends, been best friends for over 50 years, probably near 60 years. And Chuggalo Paul will drink, he's that old-fashioned drinker, will drink whatever is wet, but will give you an honest response. You're not going to get, a crafty beer response, but he enjoys beer and enjoys the journey that, they take you on in, like, conversationally. So warmed him up with, whatever he wanted, something light or whatever. And I was like, I've got something for you for your next beer. And it was nice having him and his daughter explore this beer. And again, letting it come up to temp a little bit. And they just remarked how smooth and sweet it was. And again, so 15.5 on the bottle. So 15.5 to 16%, given the few months that it's been bottle conditioning. And it's just awesome to see other people who are on their own beer journey drinking something that you enjoy, that you put in the highest echelon, and just sit back and watching them go on that journey. And it was super rewarding. I like that. It's worth the $9 to $10 or whatever that it is to, chill that, to hand that out, and to watch people go on their own craft journey with it. And their other daughter, who wasn't in the area, she goes, I've had the 90-minute, and I really enjoy that. And 60-minute, 90-minute, they're fine. 120-minute is leaps it. It's not just 30 minutes more. It's 30 years. That's how temporally different it is from those two beers, as far as my enjoyment level. But again, great satisfaction turning people on. And if you ever see 120-minute out in the wild, I will buy it from you. Otherwise, buy it for yourself, enjoy it, and send me feedback, because I love talking about that beer. I'm actually wearing a Dogfish Head bandana today when I was working out. So that was awesome. When I was back in Wisconsin, the last thing before I get to this beer and then the next beer is I really got turned on to this last week, and I've had it before, Three Sheeps out of Sheboygan, Wisconsin. Sheboygan, bratwurst capital of the U.S. Johnsonville is headquartered there. There's multiple other meat lockers. Miesfeld's is going to get a special out just because of everything that they produce, and I have a bunch of Miesfeld products in my house. Three Sheeps Brewing. Bravo. I had an assortment of your beers thanks to my father-in-law, Chuggalo Todd, that he stocked his fridge with. And I was pleasantly surprised by their hazy IPA, their pale ale, their pills. And I drank those as a triumvirate across the gamut, switching in and out of them depending on what I would feel like at the time. And all of them were exceptionally pleasing to the palate. My father-in-law keeps a very wide assortment, with my mother-in-law, of course, of beverages to drink all over the gamut, and it was nice to see an assortment. They even had some Great Lakes Christmas ale in there. That was I had a couple of those. A little off-season. We're in the middle of July, 100 degrees out, but they were still good and refreshing. But, all right, North Pillar. We checked out the website. Again, northpillarbrewing.com. Time to Sangria, 6% sour. This beer is excellent. I am extremely thirsty. It goes down super smooth while pleasing to the palate. Again, that pop, that tartness. One thing with sours is sometimes they can be overly sweet and coat your teeth, like that Pepsi syndrome, as I refer to it as Pepsi, how it used to coat your teeth. And it drying as it leaves. Drying the palate. Extremely pleasant. I just like that balance. I'm wondering if you could pour this on ice and let it chill for a little bit, maybe mellow out if it's too robust or strong on a palate, like if you're not a sour drinker but still want to enjoy a beer sangria crossover. I would never order a sangria just myself, but when I saw this, and again, and the discount shelves will go to it really stands out, just that color, that bold color, bold lettering. It's not the artwork that other breweries or the next can that we'll be having today is. But off the top rope, I'm going to give this a 4.5. Sorry, Stacy. I got to write that down. Make sure that I document it. Got to get better with that Untapped stuff. So that was super, super good. All right. Hopefully the next one, which is the IPA. And again, if this is your 337th iteration of watching us, or your first iteration, we are strongly in the IPA world. JT and I don't necessarily agree. He's more of an IPA guy. I'm definitely more of a West Coast guy. But bought this one because of look how busy that is, but it's bold on the top. Dirty Hippie. I used to have a Dirty Hippie in my life. Ouch out to Jake. Jake and I still are friendly with each other. We're just not in each other's lives. How things grow apart. But he was our Dirty Hippie growing up. West Coast style India Pale Ale. Coming in at 7.5%. Stop me if you've heard it before with IPAs. Unfortunately, it wasn't on the can. I had to go to Untapped to check it out. And this is out of Oconomowoc. And that's Oconomowoc. WOC. It's O every letter in the alphabet, or in the name, excuse me. Gonna go with the crack. And that's the only city in the United States that does that, has an O for every other letter in the name. So OCONOMOWOC. While I'm ruminating on that one, it's got that bite, and that bite is way more apparent off of the, it could be amped up, I will say that, off of the Sangria Sour. So let's check out this website. This is BrewFinity.com. Oh, this one I didn't check out. See, again, video. We are hitting home runs. That's what we're drinking right there. Just rolling down the... I'm wondering if that's one of their flagships. Of course, you have dogs. Everyone loves dogs. Oh, I got to go back. Otherwise, it goes out. Playing harmonica. What is that, Blues Traveler? I know that's not Blues Traveler. No comments. Look at that. Having fun. This looks a little bit more a little bit more recent. I don't know if they've been about it, but again, we have their about right here. Look at this. I love the B-roll. Oh, I've had Day Drinker. Okay. All right. So let's go to the about. Is it not working? What's going on? Is that their about? It's just... Oh, and they have one in Pewaukee. Beer Garden, Sussex. These are all like towns. Oh, so it just scrolled down. Tap room, beer menu. Meet our team. Let's meet the team. Okay. Chad Ostrom. Doesn't have Laura Fisher. Bob Beers. I'm going to say Bob Beers. What a great last name. And if Bob, that's just genuinely what you look like or what you identify as, bravo to you. I'd clean up the cockroaches, though, on the floor. And Jill, Jill A. I'm not going to do that name. Their hours. I wish I knew more. Okay, let's find out about their brewmaster. Let's see. Let's read more about Chad. That's awesome. This is placeholder text. Oh man, sorry Chad that we had to do that. Your collection is set up with fields. That's awesome. And look, you can get info at my site. You cannot. Oh my goodness. Let's see if that's for everyone. Let's go to Laura Fisher's. Oh, it's all placeholder text. Well, at least they got sweet pictures on there. All right. So BrewFinity, it doesn't look like they've been around for a long time, but I've definitely seen Day Drinker around for a long time. They're just still. They got Mug Club. Look at that. Okay, so let's talk about their Mug Club for a second. $1 off beers all the time. Well worth it. And that's for the year. 16-ounce pours of premiums. 25% off merchandise. This seems very Mug Club Monday, which is a slow day. But the weird thing is that must be only Pewaukee because in Oconomowoc they're not open on Monday. So it must be only their Pewaukee location. Mug Club Monday, your first beer's on us. Oh, potluck. Hell yeah. I'm in for gimmicks. We talk about it with Hop and Frog and the Beer of the Month Club. I like Mug Club. Mug Club is something college-wise. We had the Brothers Mug Club, which was on Wednesdays, and was a very similar. Granted, it was domestics or whatever. This you're getting craft beer. This is awesome. If you'd be local, good for them. I like that. Check out events. Let's just check out their beer menu. 80s Love Child, Boom, Goes the Cherry, Clever Name, Contemplator, The Utter Stout, Day Drinker, Dirty Hippie, Jorge, One More, two different Mexican-inspired with the Jalapeno Lager and the Mexican Lager, Nutty by Nature, that's a clever name, OBC Amber Rye. Again, names turn people on. You're Killing Me S'mores. Well, they've been around for a little while because they got a Silver Medal Award winner. All right, let's go back to my ugly mug. I've seen Day Drinker. I don't think we've had it on the podcast, but I've definitely had it. This is not as crushable. I mean, typically IPAs aren't as that Sangria beer, but it's a good, solid, West Coast American IPA. It could be amped up a little bit more Citra or Mosaic, bump up those alpha acids. again, you fall into the whole economy of IPA. Is it changing the market? Is it, shattering palates, with something new, something that hasn't been done before? Absolutely not. But it's a good IPA. There's nothing off-putting. A little that, that coppery taste, that like metallic, that beers used to have before like the ball liner was put in. They would start absorbing, the metal in which they were housed in. And that, talking about two different Wisconsin breweries, the one thing I wanted to talk about was Wisconsin bars. I absolutely love a good dive bar. There's a couple of great Wisconsin dive bar websites, aficionados, groups out there. Shout to Wisco Dive Bar Reviews. He does a great job going around to all of these establishments that most of my peer group, 40-somethings and younger, or have affiliations to. That the culture grew up in these events, be it, sporting events, before or after, going and getting a fish fry or something. Everyone has a moment in time, at least in my age. I'm not talking like the college drinking culture or something like that, but like where you went out with a family and, bars and restaurants were once the same. I'm not talking just getting like frozen pizza, but like a meal and getting a fistful of quarters from, a family member, just being like, all right, go over there and play a little bit, and, let the adults talk a little bit. It was a place to unwind. It was the meeting hall. It did so much community building. There's a reason that there's over 9,300 bars in Wisconsin. Population right around 5 million people. So you can do the math. A lot of bars per people, and it's just a part of the culture, be it, good, bad, or indifferent. It's interesting, though, how much you miss that. And the community I live in Beaver Creek, how that identity is not here. And it's just one of those things. I was talking about, dive bars with a colleague today, and Beaver Creek has really like 3 bars. And there's one of them that's a big establishment, out to King's Table. Sorry, Stacy. And they do a good job of embracing that, with the overhead tap pours, and it's one, it feels like it could be picked up and moved over to Wisconsin. The other 2 bars, I haven't, because when you have the best, why do the rest, are Santa Fe, the Santa Fe Tavern in Knollwood. Haven't been there, but you can tell just looking on the outside that they're divey. But again, that's not, I say that to somebody not from Wisconsin, they take that as a derogatory term. No, that's a term of endearment. There's a difference between a dive bar and a dump bar. A dump bar is a place that you're like, oh, scuzzy, like dive bars are institutions, and institution is something that's held in a high regard. So again, just a treasure, just something, thinking about it. My wife and I were, after we went to Discount, which we're going to go to, check out the website now, we were able to go to Sobelman's, which if you ever have a hankering for good Bloody Mary Sobelman's, they do it better than the bigger guys do. There's other little places that have one-offs, but Sobelman's does it in mass and do some amazing Bloody Mary jobs. But all right, Discount Liquor Incorporated, there's a couple of locations with Milwaukee and Waukesha. This is where it's like, Matt, where do you get all your good beer from when you go to Wisconsin? And this is, they have their specials, their founders. But the one thing that I wanted to show you was the photo gallery. So again, you look at it and you're like, this is just, and again, one of my favorite places. Wisconsin beers, just, I wish they still had this brewery. They moved everything, so this that was the one thing. They moved everything when I got there, and I wanted to see the brewery, because I'll pick up most any breweries that I see that I haven't had before. But just everything is packed. It's just so busy, and it's wine, beer, liquor, and it's such a big footprint. It's a old-fashioned grocery store size, but they just have it wall to wall, and it's nice to That's what I'm used to. Barrel beer list. How to get, how much barrels, they do the math for you or whatever. But I like that they do and they have other stuff besides this. This is just the big stuff that moves the carts, as they say, because when you shop there, you definitely need a cart. All right. So check that out, discountliquorinc.com. I stopped there for people. That's where we pick up, our loads of Spotted Cow. I think we brought back a few cases of Spotted Cow for my wife's coworkers or whatever. All right, this beer. Check out the label again. Again, no ABV on the label. Dirty Hippie, BrewFinity. I like how that camera zooms in. It's funny because my father-in-law's best friend, I wouldn't say he's a dirty hippie, but he's definitely a hippie. Again, the resins from the hops stick around on the tongue, kind of like that dirty hippie who cannot take a hint when it's time to leave. Enjoy. I wish Paul would hang out a little bit more often. Paul's a clean hippie. Try to buy him we went to a place in the Wisconsin Dells called the Grateful Shed. It's a conglomeration of food trucks, and Grateful Shed play on Grateful Dead. They have tie-dye, a bunch of. So I go to buy Paul, a Deadhead, a tie-dye shirt, and they're like, I asked for extra large, and they're like, ooh, we don't have it. And I go, okay. They're like, we have a medium. I go, that's not going to work. And they're like, we have a triple XL. So when you go, I understand you're just trying to move product, but when somebody asks for a XL, and your first intuitions go, maybe a medium would work for that individual. What is I know as humans, we're just trying to please one another. Who goes, you know what? A medium would work. The bigger individual that I know that is going to fill out that XL, boy, they sure would like a medium. They really feel bad about themselves, or like, as Paul was saying, oh yeah, like I could really use a belly shirt in mine. Like, what's the success rate on that? Like, this isn't like we're out of mozzarella sticks, but maybe you'd like the jalapeno poppers. Understood there. Kind of, it's our most popular shirt. Well, no shit. Like, but XL to medium. I want to know the success rate. It's got to be one, but she was like happy to offer it. Like, oh, okay. I'm not going to buy the shirt for you, but I'm going to buy the shirt for your 10-year-old. Like, okay. I thought that was funnier than what it was. Off the top rope, this doesn't push the envelope. It doesn't offer anything new. It's going to be like one of those beers like when we were on the website, BrewFinityBrewing.com. When I saw Day Drinker, I've had that, but I forgot about it. This is going to be a very forgettable IPA. I kind of want to go to that space, though. The Pewaukee one is going to be closer. I want to go to North Pillar a little bit more than BrewFinity, but I've seen more BrewFinity stuff out in the world, if you will. Off the top rope, I'm going to give this one a 3.25. It's fine. I don't know if I'm just going to be more introspective on... Just writing that score down. Introspective on IPAs. This just doesn't do anything for me. That Sangria one, that did something for me. That did something for the palate. This one, it could be a standard, or like a standard for that friend that, comes over that never carries their own weight in beer, but you're like, you want to help them out. And, yeah. I like giving beers for conversation, but I also like getting that feedback. This is one of those ones that maybe this is a stroke for a different folk. But that's it for 337. I'm probably going to be by myself next week. We'll have to see how it goes, but I've got a couple on tap. These were my Wisconsin beers. It was a light Wisconsin trip because, again, I have a pretty solid cellar right now that I need to start drinking through. And I didn't buy anything for the cellar besides the 120 minute when I was back there. Just a lot of bourbon this trip, but that's it. And again, do me a favor. Shoot out a text message. Tell somebody that you love them. And just check in on them. Make sure that everything's okay. But that's it for this one. Cheers.